How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we work together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build a positive mindset. My name is Henry, and in this episode, we're going to talk about getting into flow state. If you are someone that wants to live in your positive vision, enjoy life as the version of you that you desire, this is going to be the episode for you because we're going to talk about how to make that a reality. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So you can pick a word. It could be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, you're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. All right, well, we're going to take another deep breath. This one is about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so that we can receive the message that we need to hear to get us in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you down. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. So I was having a conversation with one of my friends and they were talking about getting into flow, getting into that energy. And I think a lot of us have heard the term flow state or getting in flow. And I believe most people think of that as letting go, at just allowing yourself to be in the energy that you desire. Almost as if that's an easier path than one of friction, because friction seems hard. But I believe that there are some things you have to do. So if you want to be a specific thing, this is how you become it. So I want you to imagine a giant river, and you're standing next to this river, and it's a powerful river. It's going extremely fast. You see it just roaring beside you. And you have a boat, and you can get in that boat and go down the river. Now this river has a destination. It's going somewhere. So when you get in this thing, you are pushed with the current and you are flowing. But this river is active. There's large rocks, there's boulders, there's walls, there's shifts and turns that you have to dodge. Because if you crash into a rock, you could put a hole in your boat. If you run to the side, you can get stuck. There's different channels that this river breaks off into, and if you're not paying attention, you could end up going down a different path. This is the same as frequency. We have to stay in a certain frequency or certain vibration or flow of that energy. The way we do this, and it's probably something we're not doing right now, I know I am definitely guilty of this, is having a specific thing that we're trying to create and then making decisions based on that. A lot of times we find ourselves making decisions subconsciously. We grab a bite to eat from whatever's in the fridge. We say words that just come straight to our mind. We think things without checking them. We hang around certain people without setting expectations of who we allow around us. Because we are just going through life. We are experiencing life without objectives, without control. And if you're happy with your current situation, if everything is as you desire, then be that. You are in the flow state of your desires. But if there are things that you want to change, you have to be specific about what it is that you want to be. You have to think, would this version of me that I'm trying to create do this? would they make this decision? It takes repetition of thinking that way. So imagine this version of you, whatever it is that you want to create. Maybe this version of you is in a different physical shape. Maybe they're stronger. Maybe they're leaner. Maybe they're faster. Or maybe they think a certain way. Maybe they're more successful in business. Whatever it is that you see this version of you that you want to create, you have to have it clear in your mind. You have to think about it just as often as you recognize who you are currently. You have to have a view of that version of you that is stronger than who you are currently. That's going to take time. This is using the law of attraction. You are not your body. You are not the you that you think you are. You are an observer and creator that creates what it observes. So if you're only seeing what you currently are and only seeing the situation around you, then you're going to create more of that. If you're only seeing the thoughts that you're used to having, maybe they're negative ones, maybe they're hurtful ones, or maybe they're positive ones, you will create more of those. We have to pay attention to what we're observing. Observation is first. If you want to change your frequency, if you want to change your flow state, if you want to change your situation, you have to change what it is that you are focusing on. The rules of the universe do not only work when you're aware of them. They do not only work when you desire something. They are always in action. They don't stop. So pay attention to what it is that you want to create without fault. Do not miss from your vision. As soon as you start looking away from your vision and going back to your subconscious mode of operation, you will go back into the habits and frequencies that you've been in the past. You have to spend time in the frequency that you're creating, in the vision that you're creating, to shift. It will take time to move your energy to that new level. So just like getting in that river where you have to be aware of your surroundings, those are the negative thoughts, those are the misaligned thoughts, those are the distractions, the different paths, you have to be aware of those. You allow the river to carry you, but you have to pay attention to what it is you're focusing on. Focus on being in the river and avoiding the obstacles. If it blocks the river, avoid it. If it goes a different direction than the river than you want to go in the river, avoid it. If it looks like it will disrupt your boat, damage your boat in the river, avoid it. Stay focused on the flow of that river. Become one with it. Make decisions as if you were going to flow with that river forever, and then you will become what it is that you want. You will achieve what it is that you see in your mind. You are the observer. You are a creator. That's what we do. Give yourself that power. It's no longer about what is going on externally. It's no longer about what the world is doing, what your neighbor is doing, what your boss is doing, what your friends are doing. Those are secondary to your focus. Have a vision of who you want to be and become it. You will create it. And since you're on this path of positive mindset, on this path of healing and growth, you will do something good with it. You will recognize the healing within you. You will recognize the transformation within you, becoming this version of yourself that operates with inner peace, becoming this version of yourself that operates with stillness and love and forgiveness. You will recognize that change and you will be able to give it to others. That's the next step. It's not just about becoming, it's about flowing. When you're flowing, you're going down that river, you're speaking in that energy, you're giving in that energy, you're acting in that energy abundantly. That's the gift. That's what's on the other end of all this work. It's not about it being hard. It's not about it being difficult. It's about leveling yourself to where you see the good in it, where you can go through pain, where you can go through trauma, where you can go through adversity and still see the energy that you desire. Everything exists all at once. It's what you want to tune into that you will perceive and feel. A perfect example that I saw on TikTok the other day, it was someone explaining quantum physics, and one of the things they said is that every song that has ever been recorded is available to you at this moment. You can go on Spotify or iTunes and listen to pretty much any song that has been recorded. But you are not hearing every song at this moment. That doesn't mean every song does not exist. You just are not tuned in. It's the same with radio frequencies. When you turn on your radio and you pick a station, the other stations still exist. They just don't exist to you. So what you're dialed into, that frequency, that perspective, that vision is what will be real for you. It's what you will feel. It doesn't mean other stuff isn't going on. If you are noticing the pain, the hurt, the trauma, the anger, the evil in the world, that's probably the frequency you're operating in. It doesn't mean you are those things, but you are operating within it. You can solve it, but you cannot fight things to create peace. More war does not create peace. The law of attraction does not work that way. Shifting to a frequency of peace and seeing the good in the world and expanding that, that's how you do it. That's how you live abundantly internally. This world will come and go. This life, this body, this experience that we're having here, it is not permanent. There's no way that it will be. But your energy, your spirit is. So raise that frequency so that you can live abundantly in the energy you desire. That's what's meant for you. That's why you're here. It's not to achieve anything, it's just to be. So let's set our visions and become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful and gave you a positive perspective on your current situation and hopefully allowed you to free yourself from what it is you've been focusing on so that you can focus on something that you actually desire. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link in the description. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on Instagram or TikTok, the links are down below for that. You can also join the Positive Mindset Facebook group. There's a link for that as well. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.